I don't know if anyone else has ever seen Fern Gully, but if I remember correctly, Robin Williams voiced a bat in it, named, I think very originally, Batty. And if I'm also remembering correctly, I think he did a rap. Can anyone verify? Was this just like a fever dream that I had? I mean, anyway, we're going to talk about bats. Welcome to my mental breakdown. If you've ever seen whatever the hell this is before, then you have heard me talk rather emphatically about bats because I think they're pretty freaking cool. I mean, this is what my room looks like right now. We've got them on the door. We've got them kind of everywhere. And they're great. They're great. But not just as decorations. I think they're pretty cool as like the actual animals too. I'm gonna get to why I'm scratching my arm in a second. I posted footage actually from when I went down to Austin to see the bats flying out from the bridge on 6th and Congress, and it's an intersection there, and there's this bridge there, and all of the bats fly out. And if you watch the Bit of Leander video, you can see that there. And yeah, that was cool. That was one of the things that was at the top of my list when I moved here. It was like, I had to see the bats. I've got things going on, but I've also got a lot of free time, and it was getting into my head that I should probably try and create some sort of a bit of a schedule for me. But the problem is, if I don't have something I have to go to, I'm probably just not going to do it. I used to be better at that. I'm going to try and get back to that. It's just, I'm kind of all over the place. So what I did, I think this was kind of a great idea, but it's a little bizarre. Because I'm living in Austin, or near Austin, where all of these bat things are happening. I mean, they are crazy about bats here. They really lean into it. There's a radio station that calls itself The Bat. They had a festival a couple months ago. They're really into it. I thought I should get involved in some way with like actual real life bats, if that's a possibility. So I started looking around, and there is a refuge, Austin Bat Refuge. So I emailed them and I said, I saw on your website that you are looking for volunteers and I'd like to maybe help out. So I got a text from the head of the organization, and he said, you know, if you're available to come down Saturday morning, then, you know, we could talk about it. We could show you what we do. I said, that sounds great. I'll see you Saturday morning. So I went down there on Saturday, and out front there was like this group of them, and there was like a little tiny fire pit. Everyone was like kind of out there just quietly doing their work and like talking with each other. It seemed very, very cool. We sat out there and we're kind of just talking for a while. I mean, basically it's out of a house, but it's been completely transformed into a bat refuge. And if you go into the back, then they have, the closest thing that I can kind of compare it to is like if you go to like an aviary or something, like at a zoo, and then, you know, where they've got all the birds. Well, it's like that, but there are no birds in there. It's just bats. The bats that they have there are small. Like, they're not like the big fruit bats. There's this line in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom that really bothers me, where I think it's Willie looks up in the sky and there's something flying overhead, and she says, "Oh, are those birds?" And they show a shot of what she's seeing, and they're clearly not birds. And Indiana Jones says, "Those are giant vampire bats." There's no such thing as giant vampire bats. Big bats are fruit bats. These are not fruit bats that we're dealing with, but I don't think that they're vampire bats either. The breed that is most commonly found in Austin is called Mexican free-tailed bats, and they eat insects, and that's what we feed them. We have live mealworms that we basically hold out to them, and if they're hungry, they will take them. And so after I went in to talk about volunteering, they said, you know, when are you available? So I picked 2 nights in the evening when I go down there and I help them feed the bats, and it's pretty cool. In the little sort of aviary enclosure, you really kind of have to look for them because they're so small and because they blend in. Like, in my head, I kind of thought that I was going to go in there and I'd see them, and some of them might even be flying. They're all pretty chill. Some of them can't fly. Some of them are injured, getting better. sort of thing. And for the most part, they kind of just are hanging out, and you know, like you see, they hang upside down. They're very small and they look like foliage. Like you have to be looking out for them, otherwise you would miss them. And it's really, I'm gonna be paying more attention now when I'm just like out in the world around here, because they blend in so well. You wouldn't think twice. You could be seeing a bat and have absolutely no idea. So that's pretty cool. The other thing we do is we give them water through syringes. We fill up these syringes, like there's no needle obviously, but it's open at the end and you fill it with water and you hold that out to them and they will guzzle down an entire syringe of water without like even thinking about it. Inside the house there are two flying foxes, which I love flying foxes. They're maybe my favorite breed of bat. And they aren't able to live out in the wild, so they live at the house and they're so cute. Oh my goodness, so precious. They're really awesome. You should look up the refuge because it's pretty cool. Again, it's Austin Bat Refuge. The reason that I'm scratching my arm is because I was there for like an hour and a half. I've only done this once. I am covered in bug bites. I got 18. Anyway, I want to try and actually get some like video or at least photos of the bats because it's pretty cool. You've been watching my mental breakdown.